I'm one of the directors at Client Accountants. We mainly deal with small and medium-sized businesses, and we're based in Northumberland.
Hi everybody, my name's Jay. I'm the Senior Sales Executive at Exact. Had my own practice for about 4 years, been in the industry, accounting software industry for about 15. So a bit of an old hat, as they say.
I'm Paul, and as you just heard, I'm from Trio Associates, sole practitioner in South London. I'm at a particular point in my life where I'm not looking to grow too much more. I've been through huge growth surges over the past 30 years in practice, and I've always felt that going purely for growth, for however you decide to describe growth, can make you fat and unhealthy. So I would tend to. I'm, as you can tell, I'm green as well. So the whole thing about growth has been overstated for many, many years. I think if I do grow at the moment, it is through client acquisition. The monetary side tends to follow if you get good, healthy clients, and that's far more important to me, to get a good, healthy client base. I have half the clients today that I had 3 years ago, but my income is just about the same, and I'm working 4 days a week. That's purely by picking the clients that I want to deal with. And by getting a good band of healthy clients, you get good recommendations as well. So there is a need for growth because clients will always drop off for one reason or another, but it has to be planned and managed growth, I think. If you do need to take on additional clients quickly, then, as I did a few years back, then you can always shop around for a batch of fees and buy those, and that was very successful. I did that about 10 years ago. As I said, I'm not a one that will sit on the phone all day trying to grow the practice. It just tends to come naturally as you get a decent band of clients around.
Yeah, we absolutely want a growth. We're a young company anyway, and we know where we want to go. We think from our growth will hopefully come through client acquisition. I think we have a good client base, and they refer similar types of clients into us. So we think it comes from both ways, I think.
When I was in practice, my focus was, by the time I started, I already had an exit strategy about where I wanted to be and at what point I would sell it. So, which worked out well. It actually mirrors on some of the research that we've done, in the fact that we asked a very similar question to see how accountants thought they would grow, and the majority of them said, well, it was actually through their existing customer base and billing more rather than through customer acquisition, which is very interesting as a statistic, but we all know where the future revenues are going to come from, and it's important to continue to build the pipeline, build the business. Referrals, they're all key, and it's also about your brand as a practice, and that's really key, and that really happens through customer acquisition rather than just existing customers. So my strategy was very much about growing quickly, also happened through an acquisition, but you know, the way our research is defining on how practices and what's coming through is really through the existing customers for now and billing more rather than purely through customer acquisition.
I think no matter how we've tried to market over the years, lots of different techniques to draw in new business, the best marketing for us has always been to do the best thing for the clients we have and to make them aware that we're looking for more business, and the referrals just come. I'd much rather a client come across the door having been referred to me because they're already 80% sold on being with me. Somebody that I get from social media or my website comes to me reasonably okay, but they still have to be convinced, and quite often they've been to see 4 or 5 other accountants as well. So a referral is a far healthier and quicker acting way of gaining new business, I think.
The referrals we get usually existing clients or existing business partners that we work with, referring other people in that they know that need a new accountant or are looking to change. We don't get that many referrals as such from Twitter. It's usually someone will direct message us and say they're looking for an accountant, can they meet up? But it's a small, in proportion to where our growth has come from, it's a very small amount. And I think with the referrals, you tend to get healthy, good clients that are similar to your existing client base. So I think that works well. It does work well, and it's a service that we offer, and I think it's a service, and it's often word of mouth that gets you to be a service. It's not a product as such; it's a service.
Sort of 3 or 4 years ago, my ultimate goal was to have been retired by now. Either to, and I have a number of other accountants that I've been handing clients over to over the past few years, and certain services I don't want to get involved with, like payroll, can now be dealt with by somebody else. But now it's to get to the stage where I can work for 2 or 3 days a week on a good band of clients and stay healthy with those clients, which provides me with the ability to do other stuff as well, maybe in business or maybe in the voluntary sector, for example. But that's my ultimate goal at the moment, is to get it to a manageable state where it doesn't bore me as much as it has done over the past 30 years. I should just touch on one of the thing that has sparked me over the past few years has been the cloud. There's no doubt about it. The ability and the better efficiency that you get and the better relationship you can build with clients by using cloud collaboration has really cut down the boredom factor greatly for me.
I think at the moment we just want a really good, strong, solid client base. We want to grow, and we want to have a we've already got a good reputation, but we want a strong, good reputation in the northeast of England, and I think we'll be able to achieve it as well. Yeah.
That worked for about 20 years through. Yeah, nearly going bust on 2 occasions because we didn't have a plan. As well as a plan, I think it's sometimes just stopping, and this is the same for accountants and any business. It's stopping and just taking stock every so often. At the firm I was with before, we religiously took 3 days out every year, and then odd days every so, just to stop and look at what we were doing and where we wanted to go.
We do have a business plan. It changes. We meet on a regular basis to decide where we're going with the company, and what opportunities are out there, and maybe things that we thought would work that didn't work. But we meet on a regular basis. We have a business plan. We also have a business mentor, and she's absolutely fabulous because she comes in and she makes us take a step back and take stock of where we're at. Where do you want to go? Why do you want to do it? And she's very good. We're great with the numbers, as you know, but she's very good at looking at them and saying, why are you doing this? It's not going to make you any money. Park that, invest your money here, and time here. And we find that it's really good. So I think any business should have something like that, where they can get someone that just come in and help them take stock and regularly meet and discuss things, not just looking at cash flow.
I think business plans are key, and it's important to have one. But the challenge can often be we get stuck in, and it mirrors to what both Paul and Claire were saying. You get stuck into the cycle of execution so much that you don't actually step back and have a view on exactly where you are. For when I was in practice, and for my practice, I was wanted to get from A to B as quickly as possible. And very clear on exactly how I would get there, the customers that I had, how would they be able to contribute, and whether I needed to diversify my business. So I had a very clear plan. Most of my time was spent on executing that plan. I would have a refresher around every 6 months, half yearly. I would sit back down and then go, okay, is this going? Am I realistic in my views? Am I realistic? Is everything turning out the way I expected it to be? But I think the good thing about having a business plan in place is about being able to build contingencies and being able to review on a regular basis to make sure that all the plans are in place to help you to get to where you want to be.